Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to have you all join today. My name is Selena and I'm the fashion director for Eleganza 2021. And today we'll be discussing a lot of the concepts behind the fashion and the art in the show. We'll be focusing on Black identity and particularly how it influences gender fluidity, challenging stereotypes, and then meshing Western notions of beauty and art with facets from the African diaspora. To discuss this, we are joined by three phenomenal artists today. We are joined by Lezley Saar and the founders of House of Aama, Rebecca Henry and Akua Shabaka. We'll first briefly explore how Eleganza is rooted in a notion of diversity and Black identity and the ways that have been relevant by previewing the show. And then we'll move on to having a really meaningful discussion with our wonderful guests here. So bear with me while I share screen. Do you all see the full-sized screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So Eleganza was founded by Black cast almost 3 decades ago now. The show's pillars are fashion, dance, diversity, and charity. And these pillars of dance and diversity especially are somewhat traditional for a fashion show. And in the end, it provides a truly unique performance that fuses music, dance, and fashion into really rich storytelling. This year, due to COVID, Eleganza is virtual. And with our incredible team of models, videographers, scene directors, and producers, this is quite frankly our most memorable show yet. The show is going to premiere next week, Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you haven't already, head to our website to RSVP. Tickets are free, and by RSVPing, you'll also get free additional goodies from some of our streetwear and luxury sponsors have given us discounts. So with that, I'm going to give us a sneak preview of the show. And please let me know if y'all can hear the noise of the music. So just a thumb, or if somebody can give me a yes if they can see the video and hear the intro.
Yeah, it looks good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so as you saw there, we had amazing collaboration with Nordstrom. With Nordstrom, we were able to feature designers from Black Space, a pop-up show that they created recently to feature Black designers. From that show, we featured Grace Wills Boner, Marcus Paul, Sansovino, just really a plethora of really great designers who are working to infuse different aspects of Black identity into their work. Throughout the show, we also have various other Black designers that we featured, from Cross Colors to Samaria Leah. And overall, a lot of these designers heavily engage with the notion of Black identity to really question cultural norms surrounding fashion and translate it into something that's really remarkable. These are ideas that our three guests all heavily engage with. So with that, I will introduce our guests. So I'll actually stop sharing so you can see them. But we are joined by Lezley Saar. Lezley is this incredibly renowned mixed media artist who's been exhibited widely in the US and internationally. Her heart explores magical realism, feminism, Black identity, and it's really just mind-blowing work. If you see it, you cannot move by without looking at it and engaging in all the rich storytelling it engages with. Lezley is also the daughter of Vanity Fair, who is this legend in contemporary art. Her mother's work deals with a lot of the same notions of mixed media and assemblage, and it's really quite visually beautiful. We're also joined by Akua and Rebecca. They are the founders of House of Aama. Rebecca is an attorney by trade, and Akua studied at Parsons. And I just find it really fascinating that they're able to merge their artistry. They both have a family of like artisans, and they're able to fuse their knowledge of sewing and design with their practical knowledge to establish the House of Aama. They established it in 2015, and it's really an ode to the notion of connecting African diaspora influences with things within their own African heritage and their roots, as well as their Creole background. The brand is 100% manufactured in Los Angeles, which is really great sustainably. And they've been featured in Vogue, Glamour, and they recently collaborated with New York Fashion Week to be part of their Black in Fashion Council.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're so excited, like I said, to have them today. And we will get started first by exploring the fact that they come from a legacy of artists. So I'm gonna screen share again just so you guys can see some of their work. But on the right here, we have an image of Lezley's mother, like I said, really renowned legacy of artists and their families. So Lezley, I was wondering if you could speak to how your mother has influenced your approach to mixed media art and how your mother's influence in the art world has shaped your art.
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, my mom did collages and mixed media, assemblage, and installations. And so I think even though I'm primarily a painter, that's definitely like a, you know, a reference and something that just feels very natural, having grown up around that, something that feels, you know, intuitive. And so I think the interesting thing about that she did and that I like to do too is when you're using mixed media, found objects, they bring a history and a different layer to the piece. So that's one aspect. And then of course, as far as socially and politically, the work that she did in the 70s, like Liberation of Mama and Black Girl's Window were so incredible. And she was just a pathfinder, you know, she just made her own way and was doing that stuff way back then. And so the whole influence of having artists coming by like David Hammonds and Susan Jackman, Noah Purifoy, all these artists that were working in mixed media at that time, even though I was young, it just made you know, a really great impression on me. It was a really amazing time, Los Angeles in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, that's really incredible. And Akua and Rebecca, you have similar, really interesting dichotomy between the two of you. First of all, like a mother-daughter duo engaging in design. And I have here an image from your bloodroot collection, which I just thought was really fascinating because it's bloodroot is an herb that Rebecca or Akua, I understand, your grandmother would use as like healing herb. So I was wondering if you could speak to that and just also how the notion of family plays into your design and your inspiration.
Yeah, I can definitely speak to that because that's coming from my childhood. So my mom's family is from Louisiana, and I've lived there and spent all of my summers there on my grandparents' farm in Shreveport, which is in northern Louisiana. And at the end of the day, my grandmother would give all of us, you know, she was pulling ticks and other things that happened at the end of the day, she would give us all a dollop of bloodroot. I just thought it was like a cod liver oil type of thing. I didn't understand until later, until I became an adult, that it was really like a medicinal and an herb used by root workers. And that connected the dots to other things I had seen in my childhood with doll making and other aspects of hoodoo and voodoo in the same family dynamic. And so when we decided to create this collection as an ode to my maternal lineage, we decided to gift it with that name of bloodroot to really cement it and to tie it into our family history and our ancestral legacy. And so the coat that you're showing on the left, I actually made that coat myself. I was particularly, thank you. I was particularly drawn to that orange color because if you've ever been in Louisiana, it's similar to Ghana, Selena. I've been to Ghana where they have the red clay dirt. that's in Louisiana as well. And so I was really drawn to that color coming from the land, and just also the faux snakeskin fabric we use for the sleeves is just an ode to the type of, animal and husbandry that you have in Louisiana. So, as we're creating our collections, we do draw on the natural flora and fauna of the environments that we're focusing on when we're choosing to come up with our design elements. It's part of our creative process.
And just to kind of add even to what Lezley was saying earlier, me as the child of my mother, just growing up, you experience all of these things, and it's kind of like unconsciously you realize how much it has an impact on you, especially in your adult years, and when you decide to explore your craft. And so there's many things like, once we decided to really hone on our strong suits of storytelling and just my life in general, where I wasn't really realizing how much the experiences were having an impact until it was really time for me to start creating my work and to start using my voice. And then I started to see these influences that I was experiencing, and sometimes were unexplainable. But it definitely has, an impact. I think family and where you come from and what you see, your products of your environment.
Yes.
Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we sort of have the Louisiana thing in common, because my maternal grandfather is from Lake Charles, and early on, even 30 years ago, I would do portraits of Marie Laveau and just sort of explore the whole hoodoo Louisiana, New Orleans kind of history, although I didn't live there like you did, Rebecca, but just having heard stories and just intrinsically being so attracted to that whole aura. And I think that sort of was this natural affinity that we had for each other and each other's work when I met Akua, actually over Instagram, right? Isn't that how we met, Akua? But it's an image oriented platform, and so we just sort of connected to each other's images, and then quickly met Rebecca, and we've just been friends since.
Yes.
Yeah, I also love how you guys brought up voodoo, because a little later on we'll be discussing just notions of spirituality and religion. I'd love if you guys brought up those concepts again. But now I'd like to turn to, just because we're focusing a lot on like Black identity in art and fashion, to how you guys represent Blackness in your art, because I think it's really interesting. I wanted to start with this recent nudes collection that the House of Aama has. And it's called Nudes, and we see a range of different colors represented in all the garments. So nudes is encompassing of all the various different shades of Blackness and what a nude tone may mean for a Black individual. So I was wondering if you all could speak to what was like the inspiration for nudes and how your work attempts to change these notions or challenge maybe these stereotypes of Blackness.
Yeah, definitely I can speak to that. So, as is typical in a lot of Black families, there's a range of skin tones. Definitely in my family, we have that in the immediate family with my parents and my siblings. And so when we were conceptualizing this nude collection, we were really thinking, well, what does it mean when we talk about nude? And really wanting to broaden that definition of what you typically see in the fashion world when you're presented with nude options. And so we really wanted to, really emphasize that when we're talking about nudes, we're really talking about flesh tones. And so if we're going to present a nude collection, that it needs to be diverse and have a variety of skin tone references. And so when we presented this collection, we were conscious we have 4 different shades, and of course you can have more than 4 different shades when you're talking about nudes, but we did want to have, from a light color to medium tone colors to a darker brown color, just to really emphasize that, in families of color, that when we're talking about nude, that palette is wider than what we're typically presented in the fashion world. And then we also in this campaign, our slogan was celebrating the skin that you're in and really looking at that unique color palette that's in the family in a lot of our families. And so we wanted to talk about what sometimes can be a tricky and touchy subject when you're talking about skin tone or colorism or things like that, in a way that was celebratory for all of the shades that are included in our families, and really looking at, well, what's your unique family palette? What does your unique family palette consist of? Because when you're going to look in all of our families, it's going to be a little different. And we think that that's something that's really unique of, about our families and our family dynamics.
Yeah, just like the focus of not looking at our differences to separate us, but looking at our differences to celebrate us. And I think just a part of the Black experience and the different things that we have gone through, we're stronger when we look at the common links than when we examine the things that separate us and create more distance. And so, when we're talking about the experience, the Creole experience, or we're talking about, the Black American experience, there's so many things we can highlight on why we see these different color palettes. But at the end of the day, it's like, when I look at my family tree, I see the beauty in it. And I see, how different cultures have come together to create this identity. And so, we want to focus on that because there's a lot of resilience and resistance in those experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And Lezley, this notion of the different skin tones in one's family tree that Akua and Rebecca just spoke to is something that definitely comes up in your work a lot. I think one thing that stood out to me a lot is seeing the different ways that you represent Black individuals in your work. So sometimes you'll see, I remember seeing an image with this Black woman with these brilliant blue eyes, or even here in this image, I Dream the Body, that is really interesting fusion of Black features with different skin tones. And I was wondering if you could speak to the use of these different shades of how, or like we spoke to these different shades and skin tones in your work.
Yeah. Well, from the very beginning, I was really careful about authenticity and feeling I'm being authentic to my own experience. And as a biracial person, my mother is Black, my father is white, and I, for all intents and purposes, look white. Not that I like that per se, but anyway, as a light-skinned, white passing person of color, and yet someone who has always worked figuratively, how do I deal with this subject that's always been important to me? And it's funny because my youngest sister, not important. Middle one, Allison, who's also a sculptor, she does primarily portraits or sculptures of Black people, but I do the whole mixture. And I once did a show called Mulatto Nation that was sort of a tongue-in-cheek kind of taking on the whole notion of the tragic mulatto, But I feel especially, so I had those thoughts way back then, and especially now with colorism and appropriation and that whole thing, I'm really concerned about it. I'm always really careful and make a point of acknowledging my privilege and acknowledging the problem of colorism and how, frankly, not to sound self-deprecating, but how I'm a part of that problem, do white collectors feel more comfortable buying my work because of how I look? Do I get in museums because of how I look? There's a whole history to that. That's, although they might be the negative aspect of colorism that Akua was saying they wanted to focus on the positive part, I find myself just thinking about that all the time, all the time, and making sure, really trying to learn, because everybody makes mistakes. Am I being authentic to my own experience, So often I'll do this portrait here, a portrait of a person with albinism who's Black or African-American or from Africa. There are actually quite a few people with albinism from Zimbabwe. So even 30 years ago, I was doing portraits of that because it's kind of a metaphor for me, someone who's Black but is white, light skin and whatever. And then just sort of portraits where people look mixed, like blue eyes, or the skin maybe being a bit of an anomalous to what the eyes are, the features, or just kind of mixing it up and asking the question about race. Is it how you are perceived by others, or is it your background, your DNA, your culture, who you grew up with? The interesting thing is, in my particular case, it was the Black side of the family, my mom's family, who embraced us, whereas my father's mother had remarried, and the guy was an out and out racist. So I never even met my grandmother till I was a teenager. So, okay, you have colorism. I've not experienced that much negative aspects of colorism, because when this debate happens, I don't know if people have been following it on Instagram or whatever, people like me tend to get defensive, like, oh, you don't know how my feelings got hurt, and da da da, not being accepted, not being Black enough. I've not really had that much happen to me in my own experience. What I've seen is an acceptance from Black people. And when I tell them I'm Black, it's not like they think I'm lying, because like Rebecca was saying, everybody's got somebody in their family, some cousin who's light-skinned, you know? So I try very, very diligently not to become defensive when this narrative comes up, you know, because it's a true problem right now, not just in, you know, the entertainment world with casting and that kind of thing, say the way they casted Nina Simone, but also I believe in all the arts, you know, it's a big problem, colorism. So I'm not a real political person, and I sort of set my portraits in the 18th, 19th century to have it be like I'm acknowledging my ancestors. These are not self-portraits because I don't have dark skin. I may want to do a portrait of someone, but in setting it in that time, I feel I'm still being authentic and true because I'm honoring my ancestors. And I think that's something that House of Aama does too. That's a real similarity.
Yeah, I wanted to add on to that because, you know, especially with our Blood Root collection, we had a slogan about what is hidden in plain sight. And so we were talking about the root worker, the Southern woman, the parlor woman. But one thing that we were really examining, and that was just for us just very interesting, is how, you know, especially when you look back in time and you look at a lot of like the herbalists and the root workers of the 19th century, we're talking like about Marie Laveau, etc. You know, these were like mixed race women, but a lot of times they were working in the favor of their Black experience, or they were working, you know, to then help this community. And a lot of times, even the ones who were white passing were not identifying with their whiteness, but they were actually identifying with their Blackness, or they were working behind the scenes. And so, you know, it comes with the question, especially when we're looking at history and looking at our identity, how, you know, how much do we want to focus on always the disconnect, when a lot of times, you know, even if there's like a privilege there are a lot of people who strategically were identifying with their Blackness and trying to, you know, almost like work within the system. And so, you know, these are things that are just interesting to us, and just the concepts of what's hidden in plain sight. Because if you look in our family tree, like especially on like the Carolina side, I mean, there's pictures of people who are white passing, but they were definitely on the side of their Blackness and like fighting like politically for their Blackness. And so, you know, these are things that are really interesting to me.
Yeah, and you both speak to this, but it's really a pertinent issue right now, especially given certain the like political climate. And I think the way you both embrace this through Lezley being like authentic to what your message is, whether that's placing your art when you do portraits in a later century, so that when they are dark skinned, it's relevant to your history. And then House of Aama being celebratory about it. I think art is really powerful when it is authentic to the creator's mission, and it is like a wholesome one. So it's really great to hear that you guys are exploring these concepts in your art in that manner.
Thank you.
So with that, I'm going to transition into kind of rewriting Western concepts of art and beauty. Already with our discussion of different skin tones, or we are already challenging this, you know, stereotype, this one view of Blackness. But I really think it's interesting how you engage with traditional Western ideologies or views in a really like visually stimulating way. Here on the, I believe it's maybe my left, your right, we'll see, is one of my favorite pieces of yours, Lezley, this forbidden fruit image. I love this so much because it's just directly draws us to like the story of Adam and Eve with like forbidden fruit and the snake, but then it's just so different from what we know And I was interested to hear how you play with different concepts of just like Western concepts, or I remember seeing some of your work that did different things with playing with colonial art or
Right. Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you. So my style, I would say, is sort of like colonial art. It's the influence of Western or European styles of art upon indigenous people. So say in Mexico in the 1800s and early 1900s, or the Philippines, or anywhere where there was that sort of mixture of influences, which I feel is kind of like me being mixed or biracial. And so that's sort of the style that I painted to begin with. It's sort of this colonial art style. And as far as so that to me that's challenging the whole Western standard of what is beautiful and perfect art, because my art's not perfect. But it's sort of this mixture. It's not like naive or outsider, but it's not perfect. So it's this kind of amalgamation of the both kinds of forms. And then in this particular piece is from my Gender Renaissance series, where I am sort of challenging the notion of gender. I have a trans son who's in his 20s, and helping him go through his transition and just sort of right at hand, seeing the whole notion of challenging masculinity and femininity. I was really inspired to do a whole series on that. And so I just sort of said, well, let me do one that just goes back to the whole beginning of man and woman, you know, the Garden of Eden with the snake. And the snake is so symbolic. It's a symbol of fertility, and it's used in many rituals as far as getting back to hoodoo and voodoo. And then it's got a very Gothic, that this whole image is very Gothic, yet it's colonial, it's 19th century. I'm sort of mixing a lot of genres, a lot of layers here. And then I added this sort of globe that gives it a whole futuristic thing. So it's questioning gender, the past, present, and future, kind of by adding that. To me, that's futuristic, this sort of green glowing globe. And by placing again something in the 100 years ago, putting it in that setting, it's attempting to address a current issue, which is gender and transness, and saying, well, this doesn't just come around, this has been around for forever, you know. So I'm kind of like, I like cloaking contemporary issues in this setting, in this sort of movie of the past, because it's a way for me to maybe be more subtle. If I were to attempt to do something contemporary, I don't think I could pull it off. I think I'd be too heavy-handed. So for me, it's kind of like how cartoons are great, or anime or whatever, to address a social issue. It's sort of an approach that I like to do.
Yeah, that's spectacular. And just a follow-up, I was wondering if you could speak to like the positioning of holding the snake in that regard, because to me it looks like this individual is challenging the snake head on.
Yeah. Well, usually my portraits are kind of just one person. So I thought I would kind of give personality to the snake. And by having it in that position, just compositionally, you could get this green glow on her face, you know, which was something I'd never done before. It's a bit experimental, and just wanted to give it a more eerie, a lot of times it's just what looks good compositionally, like filling in the negative and positive space. I mean, I think about that. I don't talk about it a lot because it's kind of boring. So I'm always thinking about that, like just sort of how the construction of the composition. And yeah, you know, it's just sort of is more kind of in her face, literally. And it's interesting to hear what people, I love it when people come up with something like, oh, it's a challenging thing, because maybe I didn't think of that, but that sort of works. It kind of gives it attention. I wanted attention to be created there. Kind of, I like throwing things off, or anything that's going to make a person just kind of go like, what's going on? Surrealism and symbolism are really important to me. And I think they're a really interesting way of questioning notions, maybe let's say arbitrary notions of gender or sexuality, or questioning race, by throwing in something that's juxtaposed in an odd way, as in surrealism or symbolism. It's just going to automatically make a person go, what's going on? And so already their mind is in kind of a questioning mode. So I think about that a lot. That's why I like surrealism as it pertains to how I can get ideas across.
Thank you. And Akua and Rebecca, if you could kind of speak to the same idea of how your work challenges Western concepts. The image I have here is just another one from Bloodroot. I thought it was, again, just really interesting. It captures your eye in a way that draws you back to maybe something that reminds you of antebellum or just like post-Civil War South or something of that nature. But then it's also, you know, very starkly modern, very colorful.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, piggybacking on what Lezley said, we present a lot of our items in a gender fluid, unisex type of manner, because, you know, those definitions are not static. I mean, they change all the time. I mean, you can look at what men were wearing, like in the 1800s, they were wearing powdered wigs, they were powdering their faces, they were wearing stockings, and that was not considered feminine for that time period. It was a masculine way to present yourself. And so we look at that a lot in terms of our offerings, that, you know, these are offerings that some of them you might consider feminine, some of them you might consider masculine, but it's really fluid and it depends upon the wearer. And I think that we see, you know, we see a recognition of that, you know, in African culture and in culture in the diaspora and here in the US as well, as there being some kind of fluidity. When we've looked at archives and we've done our data research and looking at earlier time periods, we definitely see that in terms of the presentation of men and women in, you know, clothing that in this time period may be considered one way masculine or feminine, but in that time period it wasn't. It's just what the person was wearing and how they wanted to present themselves. So we also don't believe that those definitions are so rigid and that there's movement to move around in them. And so I think that in terms of living in the contemporary times that we live in, where people are conscious about how they are defining themselves, that we, you know, we also are exploring that notion within our offerings.
And yeah, just to also add in terms of you identifying our like post-bellum references and like antebellum time period. So we definitely like to look at that time period a lot as a center, just as a focus for us on what it means for like the African American experience here, and how just colonialism and how those influences have impacted Black people, and what are the different, you know, things that you would see during this time period, and just some of the symbolisms there. And again, tying into this hidden in plain sight concept, which is where we bring in this African diaspora focus and this African focus. And so for us, you know, especially looking at like hoodoo and voodoo and looking at that as an anchor into Black people's decision to be resistant of colonialism and of slavery, and you know, that is a part of their African identity. And so that being translated, you know, here you can see in the photo we have like some of the Lowals and Orishas in the background as photos, but then you also see this like colonial depiction with like the teacups and the dresses and the Victorian. And so we really wanted to highlight just that juxtaposition, because this is really what this Black American experience is. I think, again, we focus so much on, you know, what was lost, but a lot of things have been right in front of our face and we just do not realize it. And so, you know, for us, it's looking at the foods, it's looking at how we identify, it's looking at the traditions that we've been able to carry on, and what does that mean for us. So like for this show, we actually incorporated a lot of music from the South. We incorporated blues music, but we also incorporated Senegambian music as well, because we know that blues music comes from those regions, and that was part of the Black retention. So, you know, these are the different things that we're looking at in terms of trying to tell our stories the most authentic way possible, and to just bring, you know, bring an overall experience to the collection.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Like the depth to which both of you, House of Aama and Lezley, are doing incredible research into how you can juxtapose these things, the meanings behind these things, how that surfaces in artistry is just really beautiful, and seeing the clothes take on a life and have a story beyond that, you know, as you said, hidden in plain sight, is really phenomenal. So now, as I spoke to a little bit earlier, I would like to talk about how you all incorporate magical realism and spirituality and religion in your work. For this, I wanted to start with Lezley. Just the image, I have two images here. One from your Conjuring of Conjurers, where we see one of these like doll-like creatures that you had for the show. This one in particular, I found really interesting because it's this collision of just like Catholic and African religions, which I think is just so interesting. Having parents from Ghana and seeing how imperialism affected religion.
Right.
And then the other image here, I just included because it's just so playful and fun. You have this galaxy background, and you have these cells and these phospholipid bilayers and this ostrich, and it's just really playful and magical. And I was just wondering if you could speak to like the use of religion and just magical realism and things of that nature in your work, and how you choose to represent that.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's interesting that you included these two images because they're from two different series, but both of them do sort of address spirituality. The one of the woman on the ostrich, that's from my Monad series. And that's kind of where I sort of investigated my interest in the occult and metaphysical, metaphysics and just spirituality, and basically my studies, having read a little bit of Madame Blavatsky and the ancient Tibetan wisdom and how it's been brought to the West and everything. So that whole series was Monad, and the adage being as above, so below. So from the most tiny, minute human cell, which that little thing represents that the table is on, to the human body, to groups of people, to society, to Earth, to the galaxy, to the universe, there's a paradigm that's repeated. That's sort of what Monad means, that spark, as above, so below. So I was like, okay, I like this idea, something I've been studying. How do I really get it across visually? And so I just sort of flipped it. I made the little minute human cells like larger than life. They're these little bitty planets floating around, raging around in the universe. And once again, placed women from that period, because that was actually when people like Madame Blavatsky and Alice Neal started bringing the ancient teachings of Tibet and the East to the Americas. So that's sort of just a very lively period for that. And then just throwing in like a means of travel. She's on an ostrich, and just kind of juxtaposing pretty surrealistic images, but again, sort of like questioning like what we accept as reality and science and these kinds of things in contrast with the ancient teachings. And then the other one, this was from my recent show in LA at Walter Maciel Gallery. The show is called The Conjuring of Conjurers. So this conjurers, it's quite large. It's about 8.5 feet tall. And it was just really exciting to be in communication with Akua and Rebecca about their fashion, and me starting to think, well, I'd like to incorporate fashion into my work, you know? And so I was just approaching it from a point of view of fashion, and then, but tying it into this concept of conjuring and all of the different areas, whether it be hoodoo, voodoo from the States or Santeria. I spent some time in Cuba or Western Africa and Ifa, and all of those kinds of amalgamations of all of these ideas of not only conjuring with the intent of casting spells, but this notion of changing reality as we know it. So that was sort of the whole idea behind this theme. And I did these larger than life characters and kind of just exploring the nature of what the word conjuring means. Conjuring can also mean like a magician. So I had a very like European, Western, like magician type figure. Or I did ones that were maybe, so I read up on like magic in Russia and just stuff all over the world where you had these entities that would sort of conjure up spells and challenge reality. And so in this one, I maybe it's a little bit difficult to tell from the photo, but yeah, I took like some sort of priest robe. I find out all this stuff at the swap meets where people give them to me, and just sort of made this combination of the two influences of the different religions from Africa and the diaspora and that of Western Catholicism. And the black thing is like this fiber fill that's colored, and it was sort of like this sort of smoke. I wanted to give it an ethereal, wispy, strange feeling coming out of the head instead of actually representing faces. So.
I love it. I saw it in person. It's great.
Yeah, it looks incredible. An 8.5 feet, that's like incredible. I can imagine if you go into the space to see it, it just must give you this ethereal, like very spiritual feeling.
Oh, thank you.
And then Akua and Rebecca, I put a picture of your logo here just because I thought the references to like Egyptian mythology were really interesting, but feel free to answer this question as it pertains to like what you're speaking about earlier, like with voodoo and hoodoo, and then also if you'd like to speak to the references to Egyptian mythology as well.
Well, I had a time period where I was really heavily interested, and still am, but heavily studying Egyptian mythology as a living spiritual practice and offering. And so I was actually years ago in a study group where we learned the hieroglyphs, and we were studying the language as a living language that you could speak as well as with the culture. And so that's something that has just always fascinated me and stayed with me in terms of ancient Egyptian culture being a real pivotal culture in Africa, and a root type culture that is the base for other cultural representations in Africa. And so when we were coming up with a name for the brand, I told Akua, I said, well, why don't we name it after you? And so Aama is really one of Akua's middle names. So she's Akua Oya Aama Shabaka. And this Aama portion is actually an aspect of the goddess Heteru. So Heteru is the ancient Egyptian goddess that deals with fertility, art, childbearing, music, dance, those sort of things that make you feel good creativity in ancient Egyptian culture. She's a goddess. And so when you see the hieroglyphs here, it actually says Per Aama, which is House of Aama. It's spelling out Per Aama. And then the goddess, which is the last glyph that is shown, that is Heteru. And you can tell that that's her because she has the cow horns and the sun disk. Mm-hmm. So the English is spelling out what you see there in the hieroglyphs. And so I wanted to really gift that name to Akua because this is a legacy brand, and we've always positioned this as being a heritage brand that can continue down our family line and our lineage. And so we wanted to stamp it with this particular place and time, but something that could go on down the line and be reflected just by the name it's flown of, by the name by itself of what its origin is.
Mm-hmm. I think you said it all. I could get into like the hoodoo and voodoo, but I think that this was definitely a good angle because this is asked a lot about us, just our choice of our logo and what it means and why, we center this as a focal point. And it really is like, just like the overall energy that we want for our brand and just the benevolence that the name means. And, you know, just for like the hoodoo, voodoo aspect is really authentic for us because truthfully, that's like how I grew up. And that was the things I saw. And those are the things my mother saw. And so for us, it's just very easy to incorporate that symbolism into our work because it's our living experience and it's what we believe. And it's an interesting part of African American culture that we feel is important to highlight because it's a lot of around our resilience and our resistance. And so, you know, these are the things we like to focus on.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. I like love like looking at the logo now, knowing like what it means is really intriguing. And like as you said, definitely like as a legacy brand, like it goes down as it continues. Like Aama is really very cool. So the last like major point I wanted to get into, which we've already discussed a lot about, is just gender identity and gender fluidity. I'm just going to show the images I selected for both of you, and we can just kind of discuss this. So on the left is the Silent Woman from the Gender Renaissance collection, or exhibition. And here again, you have really interesting play with gender through what the individual is wearing and how they're presenting themselves. And then on the right, we also have an image from Conjuring of Conjurers. Really, really fascinating use of fauna and flora to give various different allusions to various different notions of like identity. And then I'm also just going to show some things I selected from House of Aama. So again, you guys spoke to how your clothing isn't necessarily focused on living up to traditional notions of what people may wear gender-wise, and I thought these two images were really indicative of that. So if you all could speak about just continuing on the notion of how fluid gender identity manifests in your work, and how approaching this from a notion of Black identity may be different from maybe what other artists and designers may be doing.
Okay. Well, from my personal experience of having a trans female to male child, that it was very interesting, these sort of rules of what is and isn't masculine. So he was very intent in identifying as male, although he still maintained really certain interests like knitting and sewing things, and wanted to wear these capes. And I'd be like, you know, that if you get misgendered, don't be upset because you're wearing a cape, you know. But in the sense, I really admired his strength and his stance, because what are these arbitrary notions of what is and isn't feminine or masculine? So in this portrait, the one on, as we're looking at the screen on the left, I have, you know, someone who's in a female attire from the mid 1800s, yet they've still held on to their mustache, you know. So there's just me, how do I present gender fluidity? That's sort of the way I do it. And then I'll throw in things like this wild boar on an old, you know, hourglass, but the hourglass's scale is reversed. The hourglass is larger than the pig, and the table's teetering. And it's just sort of everything's a bit of upheaval, which is a way for me to say, well, let's question all of this. And then it is interesting that you picked the one from the Conjuring of Conjurers, although it doesn't specifically deal with gender. I'll often use iconography or symbols of masculinity and femininity. So you've got a pipe, which is masculine, and an egg, which symbolizes fertility or femininity. And then I do often use, I used also in the Gender Renaissance series, images from nature, whether it's like you say, flora, fauna, fruits, animals, because to me, like, nature sort of is symbolic of truth. It just exists, and it is. There's no interpretation, like a leaf is a leaf. And so when I put something that to me symbolizes truth from nature, then that's sort of questioning, well, what is the truth? You know, what is the truth about reality? Which in the Conjuring of Conjurers, I'm questioning reality and creating your own reality. And then back to the Gender Renaissance series, when I'm throwing in these juxtapositions of images from nature, is questioning, well, here's the truth of nature, juxtaposed with this non-conforming gender person, or someone that's gone from masculine to feminine or feminine to masculinity, like that's truth.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Rebecca and Akua, if you want to carry that conversation, kind of speaking to, I guess like an actual the essence of like having these different garments that are like you're creating that are now being worn by different people, not intended for any particular gender.
Yeah, I think that we strategically decided to have our items as like quote unquote genderless because you know, not even from our research standpoint, but just me as like a millennial, like, you know, I am seeing every day how we break barriers. And, you know, I've had so many phases in my identity and how I dress and, you know, from masculine to feminine. And so for me, it really was unconsciously to like have a male in the same items as a female because I could see that both people would wear it, or you know, or so there was always just like the gray area for me of just knowing that we could all do it. But then what was really interesting of looking at the research and looking at just like photos that inspired us was just seeing how in past time periods, like my mother was saying, that there's so much fluidity in how people dress and how people identify. And for us, a lot of the things we're looking at, it's very colorful. It's very there's such a strength at looking at just the way that garments make people feel. And you know, not everything has to be this like black and white experience. And so for us, yeah, I mean, just the different suits that you would see men in these earlier time periods, or the colors that they would wear, or you know, the colors that women would wear. I mean, it really was like a no-brainer for me personally, with trying to show how these garments can be used. Like for me, I just thought it was more expansive. It's like if a quote unquote woman could wear it, a male could wear it too. We can sell it to both people. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was my thought process personally.
Yeah, I think so. And then I think also like this depiction of the black male with the flowers. I think it's important that we present black men like this, particularly in this time period where you know, life seems pretty fragile, especially for black males. You know, we're all familiar just with the violence and the killings and the deaths. And I think that like this depiction of the black males with the flower and the lace is just, it just kind of speaks to that nature of the black male. And I think that that's something that we also wanted to represent in that particular photo shoot.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I want to have time for audience questions. I have a couple questions that I was sent from some people, but also I just want to open it up to if anybody had questions as we have a few minutes left. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ask some of the questions that I was sent then. One of the first ones is just kind of carrying off with what you're just speaking to with the image of that black model with the flowers and this very, I'd say, soft photo. How has fashion and art been influential for like the Black Lives Matter movement, and how have you, if at all, tried to make art that can be used in that manner, or seen art that you thought was really meaningfully engaging with the politics surrounding Black Lives Matter?
I think truthfully for us, because our work is so centered around the Black American experience, we really try just constantly to highlight, you know, these issues in our various ways of storytelling, and just to incorporate just really honestly highlighting the history, because we do a lot of research. And if you were to go to our Instagram, you see that we do this thing called folk stories, and this is highlighting different narratives around the Black experience. And so for us, it's like an everyday work. It's like this is our focal point. This is what inspires us. We really want to highlight and, you know, provide some level of education on the work that we're doing while also presenting garments. And so I think when, you know, the social unrest happened, and when, you know, there is just the magnitude of what's going on with Black Lives Matter, I think that people honestly find us and find our brand and can just connect with it on a personal level because they see the consistency and the work that we're doing, and just what we're trying to highlight and celebrate in terms of the Black experience. And so I think it's honestly an everyday thing for us. I don't think that we really focus on a time period to then highlight it. It's a part of the work, you know. Some people do not like to identify their work as like the Black blank, but for us, it's our research. So it is a part of the brand. We are highlighting or trying to highlight the African American and the African diaspora experiences.
Yeah, and I think that like with the current, you know, political climate, the social climate, it just really reinforces the importance of the voice that we feel that we have. And, you know, like what Akua was saying, like the folk highlights and the data research and the archival analysis and how we present that on our site and delve into these different types of topics, because they're relevant. They're relevant for this time period. Just looking at the conditions that Black people are in, and giving a voice to those nuanced histories, because they have an impact and a relevancy to the conditions that we're in today.
Exactly. I guess what I could add to that is, although I do sort of set my things in the past as far as to address current issues, you know, it's interesting how something I may have done a while ago can seem so relevant. Like I done a portrait of James Baldwin maybe 25 years ago, and everything he has written, I mean, his essays are so incredible and so beautiful, and just like, oh my, he's just talking about today. And so it sort of hits home to see, you know, a portrait of someone who, you know, was writing decades ago, and how what they're saying is so prevalent. And you know, it's not that I'm not interested in Black Lives Matter or think it's an important thing to address, but as I was alluding to earlier, I'm conscious about taking up space. And as I present myself in the world, I'm just really honestly questioning this all the time. Am I taking up space wrongly that a person of a darker person should, you know, be really dealing with? And they're like, oh, you should just do what you want to do. But, you know, I really want to be authentic. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to like be taking up space that really I should hand over to somebody else. That I'm not going to be stopped by a cop and killed because of my appearance. So would that be authentic? Would that be honest for me to deal with that in a contemporary setting? I mean, I'm questioning these things. You know, I don't want to come off as phony or appropriating or anything like that. So it's a real conscious decision to think about that and how to get at some of these thoughts. I did a whole series on Things Fall Apart, the Achebe novel, you know, so I'll often deal with these things, these influences of colonialism, you know, and power structures and that kind of thing, but in a way that feels, okay, I can put this out there and it's going to feel authentic to my experience. Mm-hmm. It's superficial to say to how I look, but hey, that's important. You know, people look at you and they get certain feelings for what you're doing. You don't want to be like Sean King, who can't even like present his DNA test or something. It's like, you know, I'm conscious of this stuff. Yeah. Rachel, what's her name? I mean, they're not even Black, but you know what I'm saying. So it's a real sensitive time that we're in right now. And, you know, I'm just like very careful about that.
Mm-hmm. And just to add to what I was thinking about is that, you know, what I've learned is that the way we address these topics and the way that we show, you know, how we feel and our experiences are so varied. And beautiful thing about art and the beautiful thing about, you know, just creativity is that not like, I don't believe that everyone should be like, you know, just front facing. Like, I feel like there's interesting and creative ways that you can talk about this subject matter, and you can, you know, show where you stand, or just, you know, show your experience. And it doesn't have to be one specific way. I think, you know, just what I was saying earlier, it's like for us, it's just an everyday experience. We don't, you know, think about it like highlighting something for our specific political viewpoint. It's like we're just really highlighting these experiences, and we are seeing the nuances even from the past, you know, now reflecting the future. And a lot of, you know, especially with the folk stories, we highlight all of our subject matter with the folk stories is about the past. And so when we are bringing up these topics and people can relate to them in the present, it's just like, you know, here we are again. So,
Exactly.
you know, I think
That's very well put.
yeah.
I mean, the story of my grandfather, my mother's father, was he was experiencing kidney failure, and they wouldn't admit him to the nearby hospital because he was Black, and my grandmother had to drive him like extra 30 minutes, and he died. So everybody has, no matter how you look, everybody has some sort of stories in their relatively near past that is like same old, you know. But just really, really have to be careful, you know, to not seem phony when I address something in a visual way that's like on paper or on whatever canvas. Bam, you know, it's sensitive.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your response to that question. I think that's really gives us all a lot to think about, especially given what we can do in this present moment with our voices and our artistry and going forward. Overall, thank you so much for this conversation. It's been amazing. We're a few minutes over, so thank you everybody who stayed on the call. It's an absolutely fantastic discussion. And like I said earlier, if you haven't already, RSVP to the show at our website. And there's a lot of great Black designers we featured as well, and you'll be able to check those out on our website on Monday, starting Monday.